Welcome everyone to the Wrecking Show. We have a really big show planned today and it's just going to be great. We're just going to have great conversation. But before we get into the show, a couple of things. Thank you again. Every time I log into the platform and I see 10 new subscribers or 2 new subscribers or whatever it is, all of those things, it makes the work feel useful. It makes the work feel meaningful because many of you are finding joy, finding value in the content, and you do that with your support. So thank you for your support, helping us to grow to right now 2,600. That's 2,610 subscribers, continuing to grow the watch hours and continuing to grow the content. Please feel free, again, on your way into this, like, share, and subscribe, and just hit that like button. It really does a lot to help the YouTube algorithm to really put this content out there so others like you may be able to find your way to it. And with that, let's jump right into the show. Today we're going to talk about Jamaica Independence, which we just celebrated over this weekend, and we're going to jump into the Barbie movie, which has been setting the place on fire in different places, and so we're going to jump into that a little bit today. So let's get right into it.
Welcome to The Wrecking Trade, this and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m., the radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like as an example for boys and girls. Our mission is to provide a voice for men, to help them navigate the challenges that they face and provide hope for a brighter future. So tune in this and every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and join the conversation on The Wrecking Trade. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of men and boys in the Cayman Islands. Brought to you by Oscore Fitness, strong inside, powerful outside, and the Bellagio Salon and Spa, where beauty is reimagined.
For more insightful content on important topics like this one, explore the YouTube channel, The Wrecking Trade. Please like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on our latest discussions. Also, click the link on the screen to support the channel. For more insightful content on important topics like this one, explore the YouTube channel.
So here we are, we're going to jump right into it. Over this weekend, right here in the Cayman Islands, we just had a really wonderful time celebrating the Jamaica Independence, and I mean there was parties all over the place from Friday to Saturday to Sunday, and on Sunday the Lion Center was just sold out. I mean, it was free, but it was sold out. There was barely any standing room as people got together to celebrate with Rhoda Isabella as she just sang praises, and we just celebrated Jamaica in a big way. And speaking of Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness, there's just been this ongoing back and forth with the US over a couple of things, or one thing specifically. In July 18, Caribbean Life reported that there was just some kind of a row. This story has to do with Jamaica culture and its approach to LGBTQ plus issues will surprise very few people, as the Jamaican government and the United States are locked in a simmering row over a request from Washington for accreditation and immunities for a gay spouse of an incoming American diplomat. And I guess that didn't go well, because a week later, it was reported on Democratic Underground that Jamaican diplomats to be evicted from Florida over official Jamaican homophobia is how they've termed it. But this is where, yes, as we're celebrating the independence, one of those things that you're able to celebrate is your ability to say no. I mean, persons have choice, and it's an interesting conversation, because we started this platform to create an opportunity to have conversations. Many times we're having conversations about difficult subjects, and it doesn't mean you have to agree with what we say. And if you disagree, feel free to reach out to me, make a contact, and we can jump on and we can have conversations. Because one of the challenges of our society today is, I think in my opinion, we're not having enough conversation. So we never get a chance to have our views challenged or actually hear the experience of other persons and be able to come together and have a united or have a collective vision. Why? Because we're all individually sitting in our own spaces and regurgitating our own ideas. So we can never truly understand the experience of the other unless we experience them sharing. And that means listening to things that you may not necessarily agree with. Sitting down at the table and go, okay, I know I believe X, but what is it? Why is it that you believe Y? Because the moment we start thinking of the other as just a villain, then we cut them off. And other persons are out there, they're having experiences, they're having different feelings, and they're sharing those views. And if we shut it down, then we can't really understand it. What does that mean, shutting it down? Shutting it down means just like this. You can't say something that is not off the proper narrative. Why? Because you're going to get canceled, or this is going to happen. And then how can we grow? How can we raise children? How can we educate a population if we cover over so many of the things that helps them to make decisions for themselves? All right. So with that, the Barbie movie came out it came out a couple of weeks ago, and there's been a huge divide over whether you think Barbie is the second coming of Christ and she's going to liberate the world, or you think that Barbie is just going to burn the world and set the world on fire. And this conversation, as I experienced, I tried to watch the movie, I tried to go through it. It was a little bit of a lift in order to go through the whole thing, but to make sure I could understand what the conversation was about and make sure I could formulate my own opinions, I had to work through it. And so here I found an interesting take, and I'm wondering, and this is the question to you as you're listening, maybe Greta Gerber is maybe this lady, this director, this writer lady, maybe she is a genius and we didn't even know it. Because the Barbie movie, the take that I got, interestingly enough, and I actually found another commentator, which we're going to review today, that saw a similar position, in that some persons see it as an assault on masculinity, an assault on everything man, because in the movie, every single man from the real world to the Barbie world was an idiot. Either was an idiot or was a villain. And then Barbie has such great diversity in that all the Barbies had different jobs. Barbie was a president, the Supreme Court. Barbie could be anything, but Ken was just a guy. And one of the characters in the movie actually asked the question, where does Ken live? And Barbie goes, I don't know. There are hundreds of Kens in the Barbie world, but no one knows where they lived. But every single Barbie had their own house. And so, but as the movie progressed, it kind of unlocked some things. And I think these guys really had a really great take on it. So let's just take a moment to explore that. And I'll pause from here time to time to kind of talk through what's happening. And maybe we'll have a conversation around it. All right, let's get into it.
So White Women's Black Panther came out. Yes, I did steal that joke from a tweet. The Barbie movie released, much to my joy, because the theatre was packed with lots of pretty blonde women wearing pink. And also us, the Lotus Eaters, went and saw it. Now, not most of the hosts, it was most of the back team. You can see the photo on Twitter where I'm grimacing because I'm surrounded by baby pink and inflatable sharks. But everyone else had a great time, and I had a great time watching it because the film was an utter disaster. But they didn't realise what they made. They have no idea that they have made the best propaganda piece for reclaiming masculine vitalism against the matriarchy ever created.
So I saw it with a slightly different lens, because
Yes.
I went to it thinking, I'm going to watch this to see, is it something that I could show my daughters? Because I've got two daughters in the target age range. In this thing.
No.
So I was looking at the first level dynamics. But actually, when I saw that you were going to do a segment on it and you've come with this base narrative,
Yes.
there is a sort of subtext going on that actually on a second viewing, I think I could quite get into.
Oh, it's accidentally.
Because Ken is
really
kind of our guy, isn't he?
Ken is, as the Ryan Gosling meme goes, literally me.
As you may know, YouTube arbitrarily demonetized our channel, so I'd like to thank Lutsis.com's first sponsor, Atlas VPN, for supporting us and providing a service that is actually useful as we move into our new cyberpunk dystopia. Atlas VPN Premium is just $1.83 per month, with 3 months extra and a 30-day money-back guarantee if you aren't happy with the service. Follow the link in the description to sign up. You'll be liberated from region locks, so you can watch streaming content from anywhere in the world, but I think more importantly is that it masks your IP. Firstly, this prevents us from being spied upon by the various state dragnets. We find it important that it keeps your Google searches private, which prevents them from tailoring the results based on your past searches, which prevents them from hiding information because they've built up a profile against us. It also protects you from being the target of malicious ads, trackers, and malware, and informs you when someone is trying to steal your data. There has been a spate of people getting their accounts hacked recently, and Atlas VPN helps protect against that. Atlas VPN is also easy to install. Even I could do it without assistance. What you're seeing now is the footage I recorded of myself installing the thing. Once you're logged in, you can see that you just need to click on the location that you want to tell the internet where you want to be from, and you're all set. To repeat then, Atlas VPN Premium is just $1.83 per month with a 3-month extra and a 30-day money-back guarantee if you aren't happy with the service. Follow the link in the video description to sign up, and remember, supporting them is supporting us, so please do check them out.
So my editor at The Critic has coined the term, because John Doyle put out a tweet saying that he was going to do a Ken video, because he already did Neo-Gastonism after Beauty and the Beast. We're saying that Beauty and the Beast, Gaston is actually the hero, of course. Because if you're in 17th century France, who do you want? It's the noble hunter who makes friends with all the men in the village, who palms off the advances of harlots and actually just wants to settle down and give you a lot of sons, and kill the giant werewolf threatening the town.
Oh, well, I got that the first time I watched it.
Yeah, most people didn't. So he nicked Neo-Gastonism, because I would have loved to have made that interpretation, but well done, John Doyle. And then John Doyle said something about Ken, and I said Neo-Kenanism. And instead, my editor at The Critic said, no, Neo-Conservatism. That is the Kenergy we are going with today. Ken is our guy.
These are some interesting gentlemen, because they take the idea that is out there in the public and they take a new way of looking at it. Not the regular, average, ordinary. They go, okay, what else can we see, explore, and unearth from this direct conversation? And I think it's a commentary for all of us, as it allows us to go, yes, this is what I believe, this is what I know, but what else is going on here? And this is the precursor, or the opening, or the door, just cracking the door to be able to understand someone else's experience, as opposed to just writing it off and saying, this is what I know, this is what is, and there's nothing else out there. We continue.
And I've seen lots of conservatives say that the Barbie movie is woke, it's awful. It tries to be, but don't let them get away with their propaganda. Because if they screw up and accidentally make something we can claim, we will claim it. Don't give an inch. That's
so it is definitely trying very, very hard to be woke.
Yeah, but it's made by such incompetence, they don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah, but they kind of did it accurately to the point where it actually displays all the weaknesses of woke as well.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you're going to get into.
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's good. And no transphobia in this segment, Dan, because we want it to go on YouTube, even though the Barbie movie is very transphobic.
Yeah, actually it is. It really, really is, actually.
Yeah, we'll jump into that, don't worry. But first, speaking of relationships which failed and benefited the sane man at the expense of the insane woman, if you subscribe to our website, you'll get articles like this one with a narration track from John Crow. This is an article I wrote while I was away in America. Lovely. And it was on Jonah Hill and why men can't marry mermaids. I saw this wonderful painting in the Harvard Art Gallery and thought, well, that's probably how Jonah Hill's feeling this week, considering his ex leaked a bunch of texts that he sent where he was perfectly reasonable and she was like, I want to post nudes on the internet. So they broke up.
And that's an interesting take. Again, we talked about the Jonah Hill situation a couple of weeks ago. And the challenge was, as this man is setting his boundaries, and perfectly fine, and I mean, you can accept it or you can't, and that's fine, that's okay. And he said, okay, fine, we're going to break up since you don't want to do that. And months after, I think a year and a half after, he's with another person, and now she's leaking these videos to say, hey, he's a horrible person. And the question is, why? He said, you don't want to do this? That's okay, no problem, we just won't see each other. But you're salty, you're upset. Why are you upset? Men have choices, women have choices. We all have an opportunity to make the choice that works for us. And if the one doesn't work for you, we don't get angry, we don't get upset, you just go, hey. And feel free to put something in the comments. If someone is not okay with the boundaries that you set, is it okay to walk away? In my view, perfectly is. If your boundaries are not respected, then you can perfectly just walk away. We continue.
And the thing with mermaids is the wrong half is fish.
That's exactly what I say.
Right.
So try and have a relationship with a beautiful woman that posts herself half naked on social media is about as sterile as trying to shag a mermaid.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into the Barbie movie. There was some stuff before it released. So there was some woke stuff, which is that right before the film came out in the trailer, and this was in a scene in the film, you know, where Weird Barbie pulls down the map to the real world.
Right.
The map on it showed a dividing line in the South China Sea. So it shows the 9-dash line, and that's the Chinese Communist Party saying that they own part of the South China Sea that Vietnam says is just off its coast.
Right.
In 2014, Vietnam nearly got into an armed conflict with China because China plopped an oil rig right off of their coast, and so it's been banned in Vietnam because they're pandering to the Chinese market to try and get the Chinese. People did point out that it's really funny that Oppenheimer is not banned in Japan, but this is banned in... I also saw plenty of memes, I'm not stealing these, where they said that one of Barbie's first products also launched in Japan. So did Oppenheimer's.
We've got some blonde white people